Geez, here we go. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to our live stream for July 28th. It is the debut of our next single from Obtainium Flow. Can you just trying to make sure we're both in the shot?
Yeah.
For the next single for Obtainium Flow, which is It's Gonna Be Alright. Yes. So you are too. Let's scooch together. Okay, there we go. Okay, so at the end of this live stream at 7:45, we're going to head over to premiere the video together over on YouTube. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you. I reached out to as many people as I could individually over on our Facebook group for Bourgeoisie Paper Jam and made sure to invite you all. So thank you guys for coming. We wanted to also thank you. We noticed today that Every Heartbeat, our last single, single before last, reached 40K views on YouTube. So we're excited about that. So yay, thank you so much for that. Also, we mentioned last time, but we're going to say it again. Every Heartbeat and Give Your Love Freely have been on at least 48 playlists on Spotify. So thank you guys for that. So we get plenty of plays, and we hope you guys share that same love for this new single. It's gonna be all right. Also, you guys know Funkalicious is Tony Webb, but that's still our brand. His music video has received 88K. His, as in Tony Webb's music video, has received 88K views on YouTube, and it's mostly in Honduras and the Asian countries. So thank you guys, even if you're not with us live now, but I'm pretty sure you'll watch the replay. So thank you for that. So what I wanted to say is that if you have questions as you are viewing, make sure you drop them in the comments, and we will try to check them before we check out so that we can answer any questions. So that is the next thing on the agenda. Next, we're excited. This time around, it's going to be all right. I wanted to ask, because I think somebody asked me, what was the inspiration for this? So I want to get your perspective on It's Going to Be All Right. What is the inspiration for this particular song? We talked about, like, for the whole album, the inspiration and the influences, but we didn't talk about this particular song.
Okay, so, there are a couple of songs that I think, as we were just coming up with stuff, kind of lyrics I know popped in my head.
Okay.
So this was one of those.
Okay.
So it's every heartbeat was like that. Lovely Mystic was like that.
Okay.
And this one. So it's the chorus just popped in my head. So it's sort of like as we were coming up with that basic groove of the song that just hit my head.
It felt like
right.
It feels like when I hear it, it feels like you're soothing someone. And I think about when you're comforting a child, or when you're comforting someone with a broken heart, that you tell them. And I think that is a kind of a recurring theme, even from the Sugarfit album, because there's a line at the end of Honey. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be all right. And to me, that whole thing. Hey, Charles. Hey, how are you?
What's up?
Yeah. So I think that's kind of part of this whole Obtainium flow, which is, I guess, finding positivity, finding joy in your life, in your day to day.
Yeah, it probably is. And I think for me, I don't know if a lot of thought in that sense went into it as much as it's kind of like. One of those subconscious things that, because for whatever reason, those words popped in my head. Okay. And then from there, we kind of shaped the verse around that thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So that thing, it was the same thing with the first line, the first, when the world shakes around you, check your feet.
Yeah.
So it was that again, it was just one of those type of lines that just kind of popped in my head. So, and some of the other ones were kind of like more thought. But except like on the band, you were telling me about that. What was doing the lyrics that that the lyrics didn't have the vamping.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
but again, that's sometimes it's the song that speaks to you.
Yeah.
And so it's like the song was speaking and it was saying, this is what should be said. At least that was my interpretation.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, and I think those lyrics were kind of scratched out that way. I think a lot of them were like that. One Love, I think, was the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's probably the kinship between this one and all the rest of them. You know, like one of the other ones, Restless, it's the same way.
So we're going to talk about that. Okay, so you guys know we've talked about the fact that doing this album this time is the first time that we've done what is considered the waterfall method, which means you release a single at a time until you get to a certain point, and then you release the rest of the album as one cohesive project. Well, I like the waterfall. I've been enjoying it because it gives me a time to do better promotion for it, and not to forget about and not to lose the enthusiasm, because there's something to do every month and you can't move forward unless you do that. Right. Whereas with Sugar Fit, we put it out, we were excited for a few weeks, and then it's like for me, I felt like there was not as much to do. And I know there was, but I wasn't as disciplined, I guess. Yeah. So with this one, the bad part about this, so that's the good part for me. The bad part, I guess it's a good part for you, is that he has been going in and writing new songs. He's starting new songs. So there's two songs that actually ended up, one song already had taken another song's place. And now there's another song that we're working on this weekend because Bruce has some new ideas. And Bruce always has ideas, but this is weird to not feel like, you know, I already had the song list typed out and we already prepared, but because we didn't press CDs this time, which is different. Yeah. We didn't do vinyl, we didn't do any of that. So it's digital, so that means it's always possible. It can change. It can grow and change. And so but that's kind of weird because I'm used to it being this it's project. Right. It's a done statement and that's it. But anyway, so that's fine. So so the song is Restless, right? Yes. And what made you think it was more in line with what the rest of the album is and made you want to switch out? Because it feels very similar in style to Every Heartbeat. Okay, it does. It really does. So another song that we haven't, Gonna Leave It Behind is another one where it's got the same kind of vibe and feel. Okay. And then Lovely Mystic. So and it goes, and it kind of fits with this one, even though this one, as we were kind of going through it the other day, and we were listening to like just the guitar part. It was, I think you brought up a good point when you said that it almost has like, I don't know, like more of a Hawaiian feel to it, you know. And you're talking about Restless. No, I'm talking about It's Gonna Be All Right. Oh. Yeah. So I feel like it's related to the other songs that we've released, but I think it's got a slightly different vibe. It's island. So we call this album The Many Flavors of Reggae. And so each song we've had kind of Afrobeat, we've had more traditional kind of sounding songs with the reggae, but this one is right here it has that Hawaiian, so it's still world, and reggae, but so it's just a cobbling together. So you want to play that part? Yeah, I was just gonna take a listen to, I think, like just the guitar part. So it's kind of got the movement to it, but it's not quite, like reggae. It's not going. Yeah. And it does sound. It could have been a ukulele. It really could have been a ukulele. Yeah. It's got more of that type of vibe to it. So it's just slightly different, but the bass part, I think, probably brings in more of the. For sure. Right. Right.
song. You
Yeah.
know, no keys on this one.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's like a horn part that comes in. So, but
and that was again, if this had been going to CD, it would
wouldn't
have
had
already,
that
it wouldn't have had a part of that.
It wouldn't
And
have part of
we
it,
just
yeah.
don't usually do alternate mixes and all that other stuff. I mean, sometimes down the line we
Yeah.
do a song,
Right.
but if it had been a CD or vinyl, it would have already been shipped. So again, we're living in the upside down world for me because it's just keeping track and making sure.
But it is fun this time because I feel like the record is more organic now than I think previous records have been.
Okay.
So because it is a record that's kind of still finding its way.
Okay.
You know, and so and the songs are still kind of finding their way as far as what is going to be the collection of songs. So unlike other times where you can kind of say, oh man, you know, I could have tightened this up a little bit by adding this one or taking this one off.
Yeah.
You actually had an option to do it.
Yeah. And we were saying that we see that some of the major stars actually do that. So
yeah,
I mean, there's always that opportunity. It's just, you know, just actually doing it is always the thing. And because these are coming out one at a time,
right,
we're getting to kind of experience them real time with you guys in some weird way.
Right. Yeah. So there, you know, there's other songs that we kind of pull off, and who knows that like those songs might work, I think, better with something else.
Okay.
You know, but I think maybe for this one, it's like, I think this, you know, for this collection, you know, and that's the thing too. I kind of want to keep it tight. So meaning that we don't want to get to a point where we finish the thing and we got 20 songs. You know, I mean, I
to pluck off.
Yeah.
To leave people wanting is always your thing, right? Rather make it where
it's just too much. It's too much to chew on. You know, I mean, it's like you just want to give people enough material that's digestible.
And that is one of the good parts, again, about releasing one at a time.
Yeah.
So you get, I mean, a month, it gives you a month to kind of take in the song and to understand, watch the video, you know, feel the vibes, understand the lyrics, and before we move on to the next single.
Right.
So yeah. So I've been enjoying that. Let's see. Oh yeah, so we selected the song on the album. We talked about that. There are the next single we already know is going to be the title track. So that is Obtaining, it's Lovely Mystic, parentheses, Obtaining Flow. Yeah. And we talked about the definition of Obtaining Flow is getting into a vibe where you can have it all. Is that abundance mindset. It's about not that you can have everything all at the same time, but you can have everything that you want if you open yourself to that, to the love, to the abundance, and mapping your journey.
Yeah, and I think it's being at peace with yourself, which to me is like finding peace in your faults. You know, none of us are ever going to be perfect. No. And I'm not saying that there aren't things that you work on to try to get better at or whatever it is, but sometimes you have to understand, you know, what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. Mm-hmm. And you find ways to, you know, accentuate your strengths and, you know, kind of downplay your weaknesses. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's kind of part of loving yourself. You know, that's true. That, you know, you have to accept those things about yourself and say, hey, but I still love me, you know, because it's a common, you know, it's all of it, your strengths and the weaknesses
and all the mistakes you made. We were talking about that earlier, that sometimes, you know, we as older, you know, as adults, older adults, we realize that a lot of things on the news and on social media, people get up in arms about, and sometimes they seem like little things. But people do make mistakes, but they're so public. And we're thinking about when we were younger, when we were teenagers and when we were in our 20s and our 30s, how we made terrible mistakes too. It's just, it was more in the private, you know, it wasn't something that everybody knew about. It was confined to, you know, 2 or 3 people, and then that's it, and you move on. Yeah. Whereas nowadays there's so many opportunities to blow things way out of proportion, or just to harp on things, you know, and so again, I feel kind of blessed. So in some ways, you know, oh, you didn't grow up with a cell phone. Like, you know, when I'm talking to the kids, they're like, I don't understand it. How can you have life without a computer? And it's like, we did. And now that we have one, we can put it in its proper place. I feel like we do.
Yeah, you can. I mean, but it's like, I look at it that now we have a computer, we take advantage of it. Just
Yeah,
thing,
we
you know,
do.
I mean,
We
so
do.
many of this
Yeah.
is that, you know, I used to record the tape.
Yeah.
You don't record the tape anymore.
Yeah.
You know, because we have computers, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's just, you know, you take advantage of, you know, what's around you. But kind of going back to what you're talking about with the mistakes part of it is that I think a lot of times people's success is a bit overrated at times in the sense of this is that you don't have it without failure.
Yeah,
like
that's
I strongly feel that this is kind of going into sports. I really feel that Michael Jordan wouldn't have became like the Michael Jordan that everybody knows and loves.
Yeah.
If he did not have to go through the Pistons. The Pistons beat that guy down. You know, every year the Pistons had the Jordan rules. He had to overcome that.
Yeah.
That made him, the whole Bulls team, that made him, Horace Grant, you know, Scottie Pippen, all those guys made them so much better. And it was the same thing for the Pistons. Pistons wouldn't have became what they did if they didn't have to go through the Celtics. Yeah. And they had failures. Yeah. Horrible failures against the Celtics and the Lakers. The phantom foul with Jabbar. Bird stealing the ball from Isaiah Thomas when it looked like they were going to win. I think it was like Game 5 in Boston Garden. And Larry Bird steals the ball at the last minute and they lose the game. I mean, it's these heart-wrenching failures that made it where the bad boys, as we know it, were able to go on to win 2 championships. And it was those heart-wrenching failures that Michael Jordan experienced against our Pistons that allowed the Bulls to go on to win the 6th championship. So I say that to say that it is a lot of times, it's even for us, I think we are able to improve upon, you know, what we record, you know, songs. You do that by writing some bad ones. Yeah. You know, by doing some bad recording.
And even the promotion, we keep talking about that, but as the DIY rock star, that if we want people to hear what we're doing, we have to do things like live streams. And that had been extremely uncomfortable for me before, but I am learning to love the process and embrace the process. And so this has been a good thing because we wouldn't be seeing you guys on a Friday night. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. I think it's Shelly. Is that how you pronounce it? Shelly Rupert. So thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming. Yeah. So let's see. T-shirt. So what we did this time was this T-shirt, which is the original Obtainium Flow. T-shirt is available. The link is down in the description of the video.
Yeah, and the one that I'm wearing here
is going to be the second design, which is going to be available on the next live stream. There you go. Yeah. There you go. So what we wanted to do was the person who I think probably has already won this, but the person who invites the most people gets a free T-shirt. So in this case, it'll be this T-shirt. So I think I know who's going to win, and we'll see though. Let's give it a few more minutes before we pick the winner, right? You will get a free T-shirt if we get your snail mail. Okay, good. If we get your snail mail address so that we can, and your size, so we can get it out to you. Okay. So tell as many people as you can. So thank you guys for doing that. And again, questions. If you have questions, put them in the chat right now so that we can get to those. We are going until 7:45, and then at 7:45 we go over to premiere the It's Gonna Be Alright video. Okay, so I wanted to let you guys know that our entire discography, you may not have heard of us before, but we've had tons of albums out. Yeah. And they have a variety of genres, variety of feels. They're over on Bandcamp. So if you put in Prejippie, Prejippie, if you put that in Bandcamp, or put it in Google and then put Bandcamp next to it, it will. Our PMG Records will pull up, and then you'll see all the albums. And so if there's something you want to listen to and download, that's a good place. Over on Spotify, we have, I think, 4 or 5 albums.
I think so.
Yeah. So if you prefer Spotify there, and then of course
Apple Music too, right?
Yeah, Apple Music.
Apple Music.
And then most of the other services, we at least have 3. Yeah. We at least have the last 3. Yeah. So, but if you want to go way back, and we have some people who go way back, like how many years? That's been like 20 something
Yeah,
years.
at least maybe close to 30.
We actually met our, I guess our one true super fan. I think we have maybe like 3 or 4, but one true one in London when we went to London as a family, and he remembered songs that we wrote.
Now this is songs from
before the internet,
yeah,
right? Well, before we started using the internet,
right? This was like it had to be like early 90s.
Early 90s, and he remembered all of. He was telling our daughter because it was before we had our kids.
Yeah.
So he was telling our daughter that he remembered the songs that we wrote about her. So I mean, that's just amazing to me. So yeah. So but if you want to see like the deep discography, go over to Bandcamp. All right. Let's see bases that you use for this particular song.
I got it right here. It's the Sandberg.
Sandberg, California Nighthawk.
Yeah, that's Sandberg. Look at you.
Yeah,
California
Nighthawk.
All black.
Yeah.
Got this. We did a trip to the Chicago Music Exchange.
Yeah.
And we picked up the Sandberg. And, it's a great place to go. They have like their bases in the basement
is what they call it.
Yeah. So, and it's really cool because whether it's something like this base or like, you guys can see it behind me. You can see the Fodera.
The Fodera over here. Oh, if you're looking on YouTube, it's here. But if you're looking on Facebook,
it's back over this way. So, yeah, they have any of those type of kind of boutique like bases. They have that along with anything else, like your Fenders, Schecters, whatever else. They have all that stuff. But if you just kind of want to go and, hey, I want to play a Ken Smith or, I want to play a Roscoe or I want to play, one of these bases that you heard about, just want to get a feel for it, that's a good place to go.
Yeah. And they're friendly. I think they shipped it to us, so we didn't even have to worry about bringing it back.
Yeah, they shipped it. They shipped it to us. They did a setup and they shipped it to us. So which was pretty cool. Similar to like Sweetwater. Like,
You're from Milwaukee. Oh yeah, we haven't been to Milwaukee in years.
Yeah,
we got to plan a trip back there. Yeah.
Got to have a family reunion there.
Yeah, we did have a family reunion there. Yeah. All right. So basses, and that's the only bass because I know sometimes you double up.
That's the only bass I use for this song.
Okay.
So the guitar, I use a combination for the guitar parts. I use my Music Man, which is hanging back over this way, and it's next to the Fodera. So you'll see it there. And there's a Les Paul. It's right between the Les Paul and the Fodera.
Okay.
If you look at it. So I use the Music Man. It's out of the shot, but it's out of the shot on Facebook. But also I use my Telecaster.
Okay.
So the Tele is what's doubling up the bass part, and I think there's also some more Tele chords in there. So it's a combination of. I like the Music Man Silhouette. Mm-hmm. So my Music Man Silhouette is outfitted with the Roland GK2 pickup because I have the Roland GR55 guitar synthesizer / guitar modeler.
Okay.
And that Tele really sounds a lot like a Strat.
Okay.
So that gives me my Strat sound.
Right there. Over here, but then
of course the Tele gives me the Tele sound. And then when I want that Les Paul sound, I got the Les Paul for that. So
I love it.
So it's a combination of those two guitars and this bass, and that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. We kind of did some stuff with on the verse where we use vocals as kind of like can I say the vocals
as an instrument.
Yes. So I think we did that quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to
we call it the urban choir. We kind of not inspirational song, but it's an inspiration.
When the rain falls upon you, soak it in, let it help you grow within. When you find yourself slipping, slow it down, let go the pressure, stand your ground.
So that's kind of like, I think that's that Lady Smith, Black Mambazo, really kind of inspired back type of thing with the vocals. So we did a lot more of that.
Yeah, on
in
this whole
one.
album.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you go back and listen to the discography overall, that is kind of something that has been recurring.
Yeah.
Is that we do a lot of vocals. Once we had a lot of tracks.
Well,
we
right. We have a lot of tracks. So, but again, this is where technology helped out because, like, when we did have the 8-track at first, you know, you kind of was stuck with the 8-track, so you either had to kind of bounce to get more vocals or something like that.
And even still, you were limited. You can't bounce with so many times.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna lose fidelity. Yeah. But then after a while, we got samplers. Yeah. And so then you could bounce your vocals, do it once, get it nice and tight, and then after that, you could sample them and then just fly them back in. So start to do that, and that kind of opened up more as far as background vocals, and then you get the other technology like the computer. And you get unlimited tracks, and then it's like
it's on and popping, right? On and popping, a lot of tracks. Yeah. How many tracks are go down? Let's see how many tracks total are on this song. 179 tracks are on this song. Yeah. So again, it's breaking up the parts, breaking up the harmonies, breaking up the chorus from the verse. So taking it in different parts. I know if we were the Beatles, we'd do it all in one big long pass, right? Yeah,
but it's also, it makes it a lot easier for mixing. So I mean, you know, because you might have different levels, but you still want to keep your dynamics. You want to keep that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, you have the track, so you take advantage of it. Yeah. You know, and it's a lot of double track and triple track and all the rest of that kind of stuff to kind of add a little bit more beef to the vocals.
Yeah, I'm about to say dynamics, heft. Yeah.
So you want to try to do that. So, and that's the same thing with the instrumental tracks. You know, you could spend more time of doubling up a guitar part, you know, doubling up a bass part, or adding certain little parts here for certain effects. You know, so I mean that's the beauty of having, you know, unlimited tracks, and dealing with computer based, because you can do things. You could, you can use a track just for echo. You can, you can be very frivolous with the way that you use the track.
And then you can choose not to use it. I guess what I like about it is that when we're doing vocals, you always, tell me don't worry about getting it right. Just keep doing it. Yeah. And then the ones that are the best takes are the ones that you're going to use and not. Don't worry about getting it perfect, which. Yeah. Again, it used to be a time when that was more of an issue, and now it's not.
Yeah. Or sometimes you have to kind of, you'd have to choose. Like at one time you're at a point where, you might have to choose between a track that's tight, it's got all the notes right, but it lacks feel.
Right.
And then one that feels great, but
it's kind of shaky. Yeah.
It's like I was reading this book on Prince, and he was saying that, like, if there's a mistake in the song, just put an explosion in. Kind of covers it up. That's what he said.
An audio explosion?
Yeah, an audio explosion. There's something that happens that will kind of cover it.
Distraction.
Right, that will kind of cover it up. And I used to do that too. I used to slide stuff down, slide back up, hey, you can hear it, but, it's not just standing naked, Yeah. So, whereas now that you can kind of work on stuff, get it right, it's like, okay, I'd like to be able to just hear vocals just without anything.
Yeah. And to be proud of them. I guess that's the thing we've learned over the years is that if you're not proud of it, you should go take it again, or you should do something to remedy it, because there were songs that, like God Almighty, way long time ago, that we did, and I didn't like how I hit some of the notes on the change until, I don't know, it's about 6 months later. Yeah. And I listened again, because when you back away from it, you hear it with fresh ears. Yeah. And it would bug me every time. Yeah. And so you went ahead and pulled that part out, man. And I appreciate you for that, because that was bugging me. I couldn't enjoy the song anymore because I messed up. But I didn't know I messed up at the time. It felt good. It sounded good. And so I was happy that we have technology for that.
Yes.
Let's see. So again, there are a lot of other songs, even though we may not be featuring singles so much after the next live stream in August 25th at 7 p.m. on Friday. That is going to be our next live stream, and our next single but we do have a lot of album cuts that we would really love you guys to embrace or to listen to. So we have things like Flower Girl, which was written for the wedding. That was my going down the aisle song.
Yeah, it was.
So it's really special, and we redid it. This is the second time we've redone it.
Yeah, we did it a couple of times. So.
Yeah, but this time it has another dimension. We're talking about those vocals. So now we've renamed it Flower Girl Close to Me. And it's got this part at the end, and one of these days I'm seriously gonna remix that part to make it a house song, because it's just that one part, and it's the feeling in that vocal. So I'm hoping you guys, when we release the whole album, you go over and listen to that, because again, that was special to me. And Raptured is one of those too that is kind of it is one of those heartfelt, looking at the situation, feeling the pain, but then seeing the hope. And so that is what that song is about, I think, right?
But yeah, no, that's right. But that's the interesting thing, is that this record, I think, started off, it was going to be acoustic. So it was, I know I was thinking in my mind that,
so it's going to follow up to Honey Dipped acoustic set.
So I was kind of thinking in terms of, because Flower Girl is acoustic bass, and Raptured is acoustic bass, Rings is acoustic bass, and Instant Lover is acoustic bass. So it's kind of got this mashing of different styles in that sense, but they all have that world
flavor.
World, I like to say African diaspora.
The big words, the $10 words,
So I mean, it encompasses all of that part of it, and it's really it all is always kind of intriguing to me, because sometimes when you think, because these are very, to me, guitar heavy songs. So meaning that the guitar really is the foundation for these songs, and so. To me, it's always amazing when I start thinking about that, and I'm like, I don't necessarily think of the guitar as an African instrument,
right?
But to me, it I don't know, it really kind of fits that flavor. It really, you really can bring that out of it, and I think it's just from the people that I've heard, playing it, whether it's Bob Marley, whoever it might be, all these people, and it's amazing to me how that instrument has such a world sound and such a
how you can do so many genres, and it you can do, because world encompasses a lot. We've been talking about that, I know, with rap. We don't do rap, but we're noticing how different countries embrace it, but then they add their own flavor to it. So the same thing with, I guess, that world vibe. When you say world, I mean, Afrobeat, it's the Cuban.
That's why I would almost put it like closer to like the African diaspora, because to me that's where it kind of encompasses it all, because it's more of that than I think maybe other world stuff. It's not necessarily Indian music,
right?
It's not Asian
it's not
Bollywood, It's not it's not Russian, it's not it is a definite flavor that I think
Jamaican, African, the Caribbean,
that kind of thing. So
I agree
that I think it's more that the part that might be unusual for people who are, I guess, expecting maybe a reggae type of vibe or even a world beat vibe is that it's always a fusion.
Yes.
So, and that's why I like to say it encompasses all parts of it, because there might be aspects of it that feel more soul than
because even some of the reviewers were saying soul, R&B. Some of them see the reggae, and then others are like, it's not reggae enough because it does have this marble.
I'm not gonna sing in a fake accent. I'm not. I mean, I'm gonna be authentically, who I am when I'm singing. You're gonna be authentically who you are when you're singing. And so it's gonna have that part of it, because that's an aspect of what we do. You don't leave Sugarfit completely behind and say, okay, I don't do funk music.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it shows up.
Yeah.
I mean, and it shows up in everything we do. So
Yeah.
it's definitely it's got our twist on it.
Yeah.
So don't expect that it's gonna be that you expecting like Bob Marley Jr.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Even though we have One Love, so don't forget if you haven't heard that. And they're doing the Bob Marley biopic coming up next year.
Yeah.
And so we might have to revisit, I guess, promoting One Love again, because there might be a time to to get more people interested. I mean, we didn't know that when we put this album together, but and it's not called One Love, but his song is called One Love. So
yeah, I thought that was the name of the movie though.
Is it?
I think it is.
Oh, well, that's even better. Yay! That's a happy accident. We love happy accidents. We love happy accidents. All right. The other song that on the entire album, when we released the entire thing, that there are a couple of them, but one that really speaks to me is "Gone," and that I guess when we first wrote it, it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like a call out to the absent fathers in our community. I mean, it was right around Father's Day when I remember that it hit me like that. Yeah. So I just, it's kind of haunting. It's kind of dark. And so it's not quite as reggae. Well, it's not reggae, I don't think at all. But to me, it closes out this project. And it seems like it fits.
Yeah. And I think for me, it was, when I think about it, it's almost like how people slip away from you. I mean, that you kind of lose touch with people, or all of a sudden, next time you hear about somebody who you might have been connected to, you hear that they're gone. And it's kind of that thing that when you kind of feel those who are close to you slipping away.
The whole, I hate to mention the whole thing that we went through a couple years ago. We were all shut in, but even that whole thing where people were just losing contact as far as with another human.
I think that was because it was during that period of time. So some of it, a lot of this kind of came out of that period.
Yeah.
And so, it was during that period of time. And so again, it was kind of like, hey, don't forget to check up on me.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I might seem okay. I might this, but don't forget, you need to, I think that's kind of in the back of my head, but kind of going to your point, it could be that clarion call too, or that feeling that, what drives men away. Not saying it's the women or anything like that drives them away, but the societal pressure, whatever it might be,
expectations, all kinds of things,
stuff that ends up driving someone away,
or even like we were talking about before, making poor health choices, and then you end up passing away more quickly. It's like all those things, but the reason why you're doing it is you're doing something to make yourself feel better, but it actually may make you make that transition, and you'll be gone. So
and I guess to bring this up is we just lost Sinead O'Connor, right? And to me, she kind of epitomizes that. It's like as I started seeing her over the years, I just felt like there was just something slipping away. So and we had just
watched that documentary, I don't know, a few months back, and we didn't even know she had out, I think, like 12 albums. So again, that whole thing about don't forget to check on me. We were talking about that there are some artists that we all, we love their music, and then we wondered, thought, well, maybe they're not releasing anymore, and then come to find out they are. So taking the effort to Google it and find out, hey,
what are these artists doing that you may have liked at one point in time,
and they might still be doing. That's the way it was with Terrence Trent D'Arby. We kept following him, but there are a lot of people who were like, didn't know he did anything except wish him well.
But keep in mind, his name is Sananda
Matria. But if you search Terrence Trent D'Arby,
it'll come
up. But he's been doing music the whole time, and actually, the albums that we like the most aren't even the ones that were popular back when he first started.
Yeah.
So they, to me, were masterpieces
Yeah.
that nobody ever heard. It seemed, you know. So yeah. So just a memory of that. And then finally, another song that I wanted to highlight for when we do release the entire rest of the project is Instant Lover. And I think that was a fun one because we just talked about the heavy things. And so Instant Lover is, you know, go to your neighborhood drugstore, get something for that girl that's got that broken heart. It's Instant Lover. So it's kind of like that. It's just very playful and fun. And it is a remake as well.
Yeah. When we say remake, you guys, we're not saying.
Oh, no, right. Not a cover from somebody else. It is a remake from our own catalog.
Yeah, it's from our own catalog.
From way back when, right?
Yeah. Very, 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 very old song. So yeah, definitely. So. And
one that is not so old, but what we call our bonus song that is going to be on that entire project is a song that we wake up to. Well, I know I do every morning, and I especially do when you play it for me. One of my favorite lines from this song is "Let Your Light Shine."
Yeah.
And so it's called Daylight is the name of the song. And every morning when I'm getting ready for work, and I hear it, it just makes my whole day. You know, it makes me be more enthused, inspired, and ready to go, ready to take on whatever challenges and keep my peace, and just, you know, make sure that I make other people's lives as good as I can without losing myself.
Yes, that's good though. Yeah. That's what it's off the beaten path. Yeah, I'll just tell you that.
But it does have the little island thing too. I mean, it's a very light. It's like a pop.
You might be stretching to find it.
Oh, anyway,
I gotta say you might be stretching to find it on that one.
Aww.
That's. I mean, hey, that's fine. I mean, you know, that's I think our records used to be more of a hodgepodge. You know.
Yeah, they did, and so this one's a little bit more cohesive. So again, we're going to invite you to go over to YouTube to watch the premiere of the video for this song.
Yeah.
And remember, this song it's going to be all right. And that's it. Do you guys have any parting questions?
Yeah.
Before we head out, we're so happy you guys came.
Yeah, thank you everyone for being there, Kim
and
Shelly. Yeah. Thank you.
Charles.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And don't forget,
and you're here with Fred and Marcus. Hey, Fred, Marcus, how you guys doing?
So don't forget, if you want to win the t-shirt, don't forget this t-shirt. I'm gonna get up so you can see the Obtainium Flow. It's the first design. We're giving it away for the person who tags the most people for this video. So after you tag, I'll maybe contacting you for your snail mail address so that we can send. And don't forget to put your size for the t-shirt, and we'll send it directly to you. Okay? All right, you guys. We'll see you over on YouTube. Bye-bye. Oh, what am I doing? I don't have touch screen over here.